Hey, what's happening, good people? This is your boy Will-Iam coming to you again with a live video. Hey, I hope you guys can like, subscribe the channel. Today we have a topic. Today's topic is, why do black women feel entitled? And me and a few of my fellow brothers, we've been partnering about this and about these relationships and how things been going. And today I have a guest with me, none other than Maura. And she's going to help me out on this first live screen. I hope you guys can enjoy this. Like and subscribe to my channel, and comment on the video. So I'm going to introduce her. How you doing, Miss Moore? It's wonderful to know that you was able to join me this evening. I appreciate you coming to the platform and everything. Um, can you, just, tell the people a little bit about yourself?
I was a single mother of three. They are now grown. I currently work in human resources. Um, and I also dabble a little bit in trucking. And just enjoy, attending church. And, just chill with my family and friends.
Okay. With this topic, how do you feel about this topic?
I was sitting here wondering, where did you come from with this topic?
Well,
Black women feel entitled. I would definitely like to know your side of that.
Well, in this day and time, I feel like the way that things have been going, and fathers, a lot of times, I'm about ready to kick the door down with this comment here. A lot of times, you have fathers, they could have been a certain kind of way, and then they could have daughters. So, it's like they give their daughters the world, and it gives them a place of entitlement. And this is just the start of it. This is just the start of it. They give their daughters a place of entitlement, and they feel as if by the time, once they, grow up, and, we can look at the numbers, we can look at data on this situation, that most black women, when they get to a certain point in life, they just feel as if they're just entitled. So, I know that there's a strong disagreement, and I'm all for disagreements, but I just want to hear your stance on it.
How would you say they feel entitled? Could you please give some examples?
Because okay, now you about ready to make me go a little bit more deeper. Because of how the government, the system is set up. Um, it's like you feel as if you know because you may have had kids, or you may have been in situations. Now you feel like, I'm talking about the Lakeishas and the um Lamiquas. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they have this sense of entitlement because they know that the government, the system, supports them so strong and so hard on, especially with what's going on in society with this single mother, this, what I'm saying? It's like it's so strong. It's so much support behind it because what does it offer to pretty much run into a good guy, or honest man that has an honest living, and trying to provide and be a good man? What does it gain to be in those kind of situations when you feel entitled where your behavior is not really being um it's not really being tamed because the behavior is still there. And not really talking about you or talking about, but in this society we do have um black women that do feel entitled, just based off the system.
Um, I'm not really. Your example was not too well. Um, but I don't really think that it is called, to me, entitlement. As you say, why do black women feel entitled? To me, it should be why are black men scared? If
Okay.
that woman does not feel entitled, it's probably that man scared to step up to the plate and do what needs to be done for the relationship. So when that black woman probably speaks out about maybe what needs to be done, a man shies off and say, "Oh, she thinks she's entitled to this and entitled to that." You could have a good woman, and she's probably just voicing her opinion on what needs to be done in the relationship, or just what needs to be done just in general. And the man may see it as being entitled. It's not really being entitled. She's just speaking her opinion on maybe what needs to be done,
Um,
if she needs something or whatever. I mean, if you got a good woman, it shouldn't be a sense of
uh,
entitlement.
well, what I would like to say is
That thought process should be go through your head.
what would I mean what I would like to say is I don't really feel like um I mean, you know what I'm saying? Not I'm talking about as a collective. I'm not saying that all women are like that, but I feel like when it comes to the choices that females make, and especially the black females, you know what I'm saying? The choices. Excuse me. I'm not. I'm not. But listen to what I'm saying though. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm trying to keep things. Listen. I'm not trying to dog the sisters, but I do want to keep things in perspective because you know, I want to educate my black brothers. I want to educate my black sisters, but we also have to keep a balance on the conversation. You know what I'm saying? And what I'm saying is, um, I'm pretty sure. I don't know if you're familiar with, you got select brothers, you got non-select brothers, or whatever the case may be. I mean, you got chicks that would rather deal with a Pookie and a Ray Ray, and in the process of dealing with the Pookie and Ray Ray, excuse me. Okay. Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. I mean, let's talk about that. What is like the interest? I mean, and I know this conversation probably had done ran its course in the black YouTube streets. But I would say is this: what brings um the attraction to a Pookie or a Ray Ray?
Well, I can't speak for certain women. Um, and then you hear that term a lot, Pookie and Ray Ray. I mean, who is that?
I mean,
Women have their own type that they like, whether it be someone who's street guy, whether it be your blue collar, your white collar, but they have their own preference. So I mean,
But let's kind of do a little bit exploring. You know, just like when a woman is young, you know, you get the educated lane guys, guys who are uh, psychologically developed, but at the same time, these guys get dismissed. You know, and then once you settle up with a Pookie and Ray Ray and get babies and find out this guy is not who he say he is. I'm sister, ho. But see, I'm just saying, you. It's like it's like you making a situation. I mean, I'm pretty sure, yeah, it could go both ways. But let's stick to the title. I mean, you know, you could get pregnant young at a young age. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, but let me ask you this though. How do you feel about let's because I know you're older now. Let's talk about some wisdom. Let's talk about some wisdom. I mean, that's cool. That's cool. That's cool. And of course, you're still beautiful. So, but like I said, I don't want this message to be like a, you know, comeback because I want to be able to educate the people. And by the way, if you look at this on the rescreen, you know what I'm saying. If you got any comments, always post your comments. But I'm just saying, what would be your advice to the woman that had done, you know what I'm saying, done been around the world and yah. She done did her dirt, you know. What is your advice to those? I mean, because everybody's different. What is your advice to those women? And then we're gonna move the topic. We're gonna go to something else. Yeah. I mean, you know, you done been with Pookie Ray Ray, you done been with Tom, Dick, and Harry. And then, you know what I'm saying? Then you come to a place where, okay, you done got a little sense now, and now you done got with either the educated lame or you done got with, you know, somebody just trying to do something. But now, go ahead.
okay. First of all, my relationship to, I mean, my advice to that woman would be to love yourself. For one, you need to love yourself. Two, you probably need to self-reflect on your life. And probably go back and think about, you know, those previous relationships and why did you choose that person, and just make mental notes to yourself, you know, when you begin to date, get out there in the world and begin to date, um, that you can encounter the same characteristics, you know, that you had been with previously. So you know, move forward, you know, into dating and probably dating someone better. Um, Two, you know, get a good relationship. I don't, know how people are, religiously. But get a good relationship with God is what I would say. Because that's basically how you find yourself and how you love yourself. It starts there. Then you know what your worth. You know what I'm saying? You find that lame guy to come up to you and hit that crazy line. You hear a warning sign coming. Don't mess with him. Keep on with him. That's what I would say.
And I think you're really making some good points. I think a lot of times we have, I mean, and this goes both ways, male and females. Um, but some, I would say, superb females. But I would say this, that a lot of times males can self reflect because we know at the end of the day, we are all we have. I mean, at the end of the day, we can't get food stamps, we can't get um, certain benefits from the system. So we kind of have to listen. Listen, let me talk. Let me talk. So it's like we kind of have to self-reflect, and we kind of have to really look at life and our situations, and self-examine. But I think for a female, it's a little different.
Why do you think that every female is more attention to housing and all that? You can't. A certain caliber of woman is in a certain income bracket. You can't.
Well, I'm not. I'm not. Well, I understand that. That I mean, and it makes good sense to for those kind of women. But see, it's like we can't always just focus on those kind of women, because at the same time, those kind of women were still the same ones that were still in certain kind of situations where they was dealing here, dabbling there. Then once they get older, even though their careers, they're still hard women to really like settle down with because of their independency. And with this, with all of these things that are going on as far as with politics, I mean, it does not help the situation. It does not help the situation because you're living in a situation where a woman can just walk right past you, won't speak to you, or whatever. Yeah, and just feel as if everything is good. You know, she fluctuates with different emotions and different feelings. Um,
Do you mean though?
it's no, no. I think men are silent, solid. I'll say solid in some of his ways. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I think due to the system, due to the political system, and um, everything that then happened, I think the household has been so divided that it brings us to a point where um, we're divided in a whole lot of different areas, and it's like there's no return.
Well, that brings us back to your subject. I'm glad you mentioned that the household, divided. Um, for the most part, women didn't go out here and seek for a household to be divided. It had to be somebody that stepped out. And unfortunately, that somebody that stepped out, and go back to your title, white women, it should be men feel entitled. They're the ones that stepped out, so they feel like they're entitled to something else. So which all leads back to the household being divided. They decide to step out. So now we have that division in the household, unfortunately.
Okay, all right. This is where I will give you. I will give you this. I will give you this. I know in the 80s, there was a lot of, men stepping out and doing what they do. But I will say this, that even coming from a biblical standpoint, unless he's let me step back because I don't want to overcross my boundaries. Let's stay on topic. Let's stay on topic. You know, I think everything that happens really is kind of outside of our jurisdiction, and we allow certain things to go on through time. I mean, what I mean by that is, you had the feminine system movement that started with white people. And the process that it started with white people allowed, hold on. It allowed black women to really hop on board and allow, I mean, you just talk about the whole. I mean, you just talk about, what I'm saying, certain programs that the feminists was able to get a part of. I mean, it came to a point that I don't need a man. I can take care of myself. Let's collaborate on that topic.
Well, unfortunately, for women who do things like that, you know, to me, you still see where they're coming from, but there's a catch 22 too. For me, I say, two is better than one. You know what I'm saying? When two can bring two incomes together, that'll be better than just, your one income. And why women probably say that I don't need no man, I really don't think it means for the rest of their life that saying I don't need no man, probably during that time period, that maybe she can, you know, get her career, do what she needs to do, and then, to elevate herself, is probably what she's saying. But I don't think intentionally that any black women feel for the rest of their life that they don't need no man, for anything. If you do, that's just a bad situation. But to elevate yourself, I think that two is better than one.
And then you had certain um, laws that was put in place by past presidents, and especially when it came to this Democratic Party, and you have a whole lot of women that really caters to this Democratic Party. I mean, actually, right now, I'm not getting off the subject, but I'm trying to make a point. But what I think right now is that there's a whole lot of laws and a whole lot of things that are put in place to really, I mean, set a man back to where, um, okay, let's just talk about um, Biden, you know, because like I said, everything starts with the past. As far as the legislature he had pushed, as far as the criminal act, and then you had Harris. She was right behind him, but of course it started before then. But there was a lot of black men being locked up. There was a lot of black men being locked up, and it took away a lot of the the the, um, the powers of probably raising kids together, um, doing a whole lot of things together, and of course, it allowed the woman to advance herself.
Well, that goes back to what I was saying. You know, it was the choices that that black man made. Did he think about his family at the time? Nope. Did he think about his children at the time? Nope. He did crime. And that's what pulled him away from the family, from his children.
But let me ask you this one question: do you think white supremacy played a part in that? I mean, if you go back to the '60s and see how things was being done and how all these legislations was taking place, you don't think white supremacy had a part in that?
No, no. That was someone's choice that they decided to make, you know, whether to rob somebody, whether to kill somebody, or steal from somebody. There's jobs hiring every day. Side hustles going on every day. That's what they chose to do.
But you fail to realize of the fact that um, there is also an oppression, a suppression on black men that came from these legislators, uh, these laws that was put in place.
Um, well, I think the suppression probably came from, okay, so let's say someone did decide to, you know, go out here, whether it be sell drugs or steal, they pulled a couple of years in jail or prison. So now you open up yourself to not being qualified for certain jobs because of a decision that you made. Um, you know, I have seen situations that, you know, ex-felons have overcame those obstacles, um, you know, to get a good, decent job to provide for a family. And then you've seen some that just couldn't overcome over those obstacles. But ultimately, it leads to the decision that the person made. You kind of suppress your own self. You know, whether it been, let's say if you're now 50 years old or 40 years old, you did a crime in your teen. There's ways that you can go back and get it expunged from your record. So that is a way that they can go back and clear their name, whether they have, you know, haven't been in trouble since then. This is what I would do. Um, and then, you know, start paying to go to school, get a trade. Um,
I
um,
mean, I hear what you're saying, but we still not really recognizing the elephant in the room.
okay,
You know, the elephant in the room is the fact that um, even though we have um, all of these things, I mean, I mean, I can agree with you on those points. I agree with you on those points. But at the same time, I mean, you still, just for instance, um, because of these certain programs that a woman can get, you know, once she gets on these programs, she could no longer want the father in the home because um, once she hold, let me talk. Once she accept um, these programs and you know the money get good, you got child support, you know what I'm saying, you have all these other programs which men do not have nothing. It does give her a position of entitlement because she knows she can always go to her white daddy. She knows she can always get support from her white daddy. And therefore, I don't need you. So in the process of being in a place where I don't need you, because now I have my white daddy, um, it brings on a sense of entitlement because now you could be in a place where you feel like you can just be reckless. And in your process of being reckless, because of your entitlement, because of the government, because of all of these legislations, you go with that.
So, let me put out another example right here. I agree with something like that. That's not cool. And number two, you said the women feel entitled. Okay. So, like I said previously, a woman does not get up and decide, hey, I want to be a single mom. They'll think a great life.
Well, let's talk
No,
about
no,
her
no.
choices, though.
I'm talking
Let's
now.
talk about her choices.
I'm talking now.
Okay.
Okay, you let me have floor now. Thank you. So when you said that they feel entitled because of all of these programs, hello men, you can be in these same programs too if you want EBT, if you want WIC. Take your kids. Get your kid. A woman is only okay, doing what she needs to do to provide for her kids. If that man steps out and she has no way or can't afford a decent home, she has to go to feeding her kids, whether it be through the EBT program or whether, a housing program or to sign up for, grants and stuff to uplift her and her, educational endeavors. We do not want to do this. We do not wake up and say, let us be single parents. Guys can be on these same programs too if you need this. The child support. How do you get to the level of paying child support? It has to be a time period that goes back for the woman to say, this man is not taking care of his children. And then that's when a woman is left to no alternative but to go to the courthouse and sign up for child support. If the man is not out here taking care of his children. Period, point blank.
Well, I hear what you're saying, and I understand what you're saying. But the elephant in the room is when you get in a place where you have these entitlements, you get in a place where you feel as if somebody owes you something. And then once you get in a place in a certain position, because you had the white daddy, the white daddy, um, you feel as if um you can just treat anybody any kind of way. I mean, let's be honest.
I really don't think that a woman just feels she can
No,
treat
I'm not
anybody
saying all women.
any
I
kind of
mean,
way.
I'm not saying all women. I'm not saying all women.
But no, I'm just saying, just in general, I don't think the government assistance program puts them into another tax bracket.
I'm not saying all women, but what I am saying is I appreciate one person that we have watching this stream. You can put your comments in. You can and right now the topic is why do black women feel so entitled? You know, I just I just feel like just based off of history, based off of white supremacy, um, that is just something as a black man um, we would have to deal with, and we would just have to vet females.
You don't have to do
How that's what I'm saying. You just have to vet females to a certain degree of you know where you you know what you're dealing with. You know what I'm saying? You know what you're dealing with. That's that's what I would say.
I don't think, like I said, it's not like women of a certain income bracket are balling off of, the government assisted programs. Um, that's just how I feel. And when you said they feel entitled to certain things, I mean, of course, like going back to what I said, a woman of a certain caliber or a certain standard, of course, they they want certain things going in certain ways, um, and that's what they should that's what they should want. You have a standard.
But see, the way the government is set up, it does not give a woman a reason to be submissive. Why would she have to be submissive if she know that she can just throw you out? You feel what I'm saying? She know, because she can go to her white daddy. She can go to her white daddy, and he's gonna give her what she need to keep the black man out the house.
Well, the question is, how did you get to that place? Now, if the place is in both of your names, how is she gonna like that? She's just gonna throw you out. And how are you just gonna accept that? She's just gonna throw you out. How did you get there?
Because all right. If you date a woman and she first of all, she's not gonna come to you 100%. You know,
How did you think that?
because okay, let's talk about the what we're going to talk about is we're going to talk about the collective. It's not about us as individuals. So when you talk about the collective, it gives a different spin to where you know what I'm saying. If I bring these questions up, it's not about me. You feel what I'm saying? I know what kind of man I am. I know I'm for marriage. I know I'm about being a protector, a provider. But I'm talking about the collective, where you can hold these particular people accountable for their actions.
Well, I say with time, brings everything. So, whether a woman is, just giving a little tidbit or coming out all in one day, time is everything.
Mhm. But it is also, I think, has a whole lot to do with the mindset.
That too.
And if the mindset is not really on productivity and it's still based off of uh, what um, because see a lot of times I mean it can fall in anybody's hand because sometimes people just cannot get from their past and based off of the ideology and the sociology that goes into that it brings on problems um, as they grow up. And if it's not properly um, done through a source of canceling or any kind of spiritual divine information, um, and it's just based off of what you do when you're living in a fleshly environment, it brings forth that Jezebel spirit of manipulation, control, and things of that nature.
Well, that's what I was saying for women. First of all, you need to love yourself and know what you're worth. Because basically, just with the characteristics you were just naming, um, you will know when you're talking to someone or in a relationship with someone with those characteristics that that they're, a person that, basically tells a lot of lies, manipulate someone. You just have to know yourself, and love yourself enough to know that that's not what you want.
And I would like to piggyback on off of that for the men. You know, you have to evaluate yourself. You have to be in a situation and of mindset where you have to take responsibility. So your past experiences won't hinder your growth.
That's true. You're right.
You know, and this conversation is, it's really for you guys, but we have to deal with the situations and the things that is before us, and we have to really focus, and I mean really truly focus on us. Focus on building yourself, self improvement. You don't have to be victimized of where you come from, but at the end of the day, it's about where you're going. Um, because we know the government and everything is not for us, and we're in a place where um, where men, a whole lot of men are leaving the country. A whole lot of men are going to other races due to this ideology that uh white daddy had put in place, you know. And if we don't do things to better ourselves, we will always be in a place where we're living by the system, and that's not where we want to be. So I would want to say, protect yourself. Um, use try to focus on building yourself up as a man, as a man. Not try to be in a situation where you have to be validated by no one but God.
And that is true. That is true. And I say the same thing because, I have sons too. And I say the same thing. That's good advice for men out there. But going back to the women, um, what you were saying, you don't have to be set up to get into the system. Like I said, there's something that ultimately leads you there. And it was your poor choice or your poor choice of direction that you want to follow down behind somebody to get there. Now, if you have been a man, MAN, and stepped up and did what you're supposed to do, you don't have to worry about going on
I
that street or
I
that
got to
corner.
drag. I got it. I can't help it. I can't look. Y'all make sure y'all
Like
like
I
this
said,
video. But I got
like
to.
I said,
But
if you
see,
have
But what she's doing is she's holding you accountable. Listen what I'm saying. Listen what I'm saying though. But what she's doing is she's holding the men accountable, but she's not holding the females accountable based off of their dysfunctions and everything. Her female nature.
We're going to take it back. With every action, there is a reaction. And so, women you had to make a choice of how can I provide for our children right now. And so that had to be a choice that woman had to make.
But she made some bad choices also in the process. We fail to realize that. That's something you fail. That's something you fail to acknowledge because her choices might not have been about the right thing. She may have just seen attraction. She may have just seen. Let's just say she may have just seen attraction.
You have to get down to some people's level. You have to see them where they are. They may have thought that this person was somebody that they could spend the rest of their life with, and that person could have did a total, 360 on them. You have to get down to somebody's level. And like I said, with every action, there was a reaction. So now she could be 2, 3 kids in a pet. She could be one child in, and this man has walked out on her. And what did she do?
Well, let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this though. But in a process like that, wouldn't it be? You got to look at it both ways. You just can't look at it one way, as if, well, she could have had. She could have had a good man, and vice versa.
And trust me, for those who realize they did have a good man, they may be somewhere wish shoulda, coulda, woulda, been with him. For those who realize that, and for the men that stepped out and realized, like you said, the other shoe on that foot, you had a good woman and you stepped out. And for them, it's just, they sing the same song.
But see, we feel. Okay. Stepping out. I feel like a man is more loyal. I feel like a man is more. Hold on. Because to a lot of, like you said, for every action there's a reaction. You feel what I'm saying? So a lot of times, people can just break apart, but it has to be something that allowed them to break apart. You feel what I'm saying?
Yes.
It
goes back
to the action and reaction.
The sense of entitlement. So that man just said, I'm just going to, that's how on my marriage, cheat, or it could be a woman too. That is the sense of entitlement, that you go out here and you want to cheat, or if you want to seek a relationship with somebody else knowing you're already in a marriage or a relationship. That's how that is broken. Somebody, felt that they're entitled to somebody else.
There's some good points, and I feel like, as I'll say this, back in the day, growing up, um, your grandparents, it was always somebody. As a man, we always been held accountable. So, it's not a problem with us saying, I'm sorry. It's not really a problem. I'm not saying, I'm talking about from a collective standpoint that I don't, that means that the numbers the percentages of this and the percentages of that. But when you look at the percentages from someone who came from a certain kind of family, um, that makes a big difference too. Because men have been held accountable all of their lives, pretty much, um, all of their lives. So most women was able to get away with a whole lot of things that most men was not able to get away with. So that what allows them to be in this certain kind of mindset, I believe.
I totally disagree with being accountable. You know, about being not being accountable for their judgments, their actions, not being still running from what they need to be taken care of. So the things, their families, their children, a lot of men are not doing what they're supposed to do. They're not being held accountable. And when someone else holds them accountable, then the men have an attitude. Period.
Well, um, do you have any last thoughts, any words of encouragement?
Yes. Like I was saying to all the single mothers, hold your head up. Just go out here and love yourself. Try to do better for you and your children. You're gonna make it. And like I said, with this title that you had, why do women feel entitled? No, women, we do not feel entitled. We want a better life for us and our children. That is all we want. Um, and just when you are in a good relationship, um, you know, I would say, I understand that you have a sense of independence, but just try to, lay off of that. Just look. We're not out here saying that women, we can do we can do everything. We don't need a man. It could be true for that moment. You're going through school, trying to get your education, trying to get that promotion, trying to promote yourself to that next level. But ultimately, we know that two is better than one. Stay strong.
Uh, I hope you guys enjoyed the stream. I know that there was a lot said, and but it's good to hear things from two different perspectives. You know, um, I could have dragged her, but
Oh no, baby, no, no, no,
um,
no,
because they still made bad choices, even with baby daddies and all of that. You know what I'm saying? I want to keep it clean. I want to keep it. I want. Oh, let me say what I got to say. She don't, hold on. But for my brothers, I would say this: focus on yourself. To my young brothers, focus on yourself. Um, get you a trade. Take care of yourself first. Before you start to involve yourself, because respect is major, and to be a man, I mean, not really to be a man, but you want to have your stuff together, um, so you can take care of yourself and things of that nature. But we about to end this screen. Um, if you have any comments, if you watch it on the replay, or you have leave your comments. Uh, I would like to appreciate my guests for coming through. I kind of knew that she was gonna kind of be like a handful, but
Nevertheless,
it is what it is.
I speak truth.
So just keep your eyes open. Like I said, we about to do some new things with this channel, and I hope you enjoyed it. And just make sure you like and subscribe. And God bless you.
God bless.
Later, and we out of here.